the first time I saw her, it was just like looking at myself.
Really?
And it's the weirdest thing to see your own eyes cry. Like, she was so happy to see me that she was crying, and it it was so weird because it was my eyes. It's bizarre. So, yeah, so that's how she found me.
Welcome back to another episode of Rediscover Podcast, where we talk to people who have rediscovered their calling in life through the things that they've gone through, maybe the businesses that they do, whatever it be. We just love talking to people here. And today we have Michelle Herrera, right?
Hey, Wally.
How are you?
I'm living the dream.
Yeah?
Yeah. Somebody's.
So for people that don't know how we know each other from
Church.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've only been going there for a couple of years now, I think maybe. How long have you been there?
So I don't remember the year, but we went for Christina and Oscar's wedding. We didn't even go for a church service.
How did you know them?
So he knows them, his family, Mexican families.
Oh, because he's brown and they're brown. And
They all knew each other. No, they all lived in Holland at one point. So their families, his uncles know Oscar's people somehow. But so we went for their wedding, and I was going to my grandma's old church at the time. And when I walked in, I just felt like God just wrapped his arms around me, and I was like, oh, this is where you've been.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how we ended up going. We went back the next Sunday, and we haven't left. So
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yep. So I think it was 21 maybe. So it's been, maybe.
Yeah, because
4
I
years.
used to preach there, like what they call pulpit supply, which is just when the pastor's not there, I get to go preach there. And
Right.
and I remember meeting Christina before I think she even met Oscar a couple of times that I had gone there to preach and stuff. So I remember her then saying, "Oh, we got married," that kind of thing. So I didn't realize when it was, and I had no idea that you weren't there
No,
before that.
no, we were going to Anchor Point at the time with my grandma.
How's that church? I've heard about that church. It's good. It's fine.
I was glad that I found New Life Community
Okay.
Church.
Yeah, which is what the church was called, right? New Life Community Church.
It was at the time, yes.
And now it's called the
Adventure.
The Adventure Church, right? So let's talk about your adventures.
Jesus. It's a long story.
So how was life for you? I mean, we can talk about as much as you want or as little as you want, but how was life for you, like kind of growing up as a kid?
So I was adopted at birth. And I grew up rather wealthy. But for me growing up, it was performance-based, I think. I don't think my parents really wanted a child. They wanted the idea of, the 2.5 white picket fence, American dream. I don't think they I think they just wanted the dream. I don't think that when I started to get my own ideas and my own thoughts, it wasn't a very good childhood. But it was always very performance based, pageants and dance recitals and everything that made them look great. It was great. But when I didn't want to do that kind of stuff anymore, So growing up, it was real performance based.
Well, that's
Love.
kind of hard because it's kind of, you're always constantly having to do something.
And you never can do enough.
Mm.
Yeah.
So are you still in relationship with them?
They're both passed away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They passed away 6 months apart. It was a few years ago. I hadn't seen them in 20-something odd years, and just is what it is. When I moved here to get to know my birth family, and I kind of just cut ties with them. It wasn't a real happy situation to begin with.
Okay.
So yeah, but they both passed away, and I hope they're somewhere. I'll see them again someday. I forgive situation. It just, I grew up without a self-esteem. I wasn't good enough. It was what I was doing that was always rewarded. So yeah, it was really rough.
So you felt like they didn't think you personally were good enough.
Right. It was what I did. It was always, yeah.
So how did you get to, like, how does one find their birth family?
That's another long story. She found me.
Oh.
So from California all the way across the country, and I'm in Ohio, and living not a good lifestyle and living on the streets and doing whatever I had to do to survive, and finally ended up in jail for, I don't know how. I've done 6 years if you add up all the time, but it was on this one stint, and I just decided enough was enough. I was sick of going to jail. I was sick of getting beat up by pimps and, you know, whatever else, getting raped, all that stuff. And I was in jail, and there was a lady that ran the commissary, and she came to me and said, I know this place you could go and get away from all this and give your life to Jesus, which I'd never heard of in my life. So all of those things. And finally, I'm just like, you know what? My way's not working. So in this rehab, I was in one place long enough to have a permanent address, and so that my birth mother could find me. I just never sat still long enough that she could get a hold of me anywhere.
So how long ago was this? Like, because it wasn't, was this in times where she could look you up, find you on Facebook, that kind of thing? Or is this like, she's just looking for your name everywhere?
So she had a private investigator that she had looking for me. So she had tried with normal ways, and, you know, there was she calls him her angel. And I don't know that his methods were necessarily legit, but somehow he found me, and I was in this rehab, and I get called into the office, and I'm like, what do I do now? You know, kind of thing. And Michelle, your mom called, and I'm like, okay. They're like, no, your mom called. And I was like, who? So yeah, she found me. She got the address and the phone number, and I called her back, and it was just so crazy. And I don't remember the conversation, but I remember when the first time I saw her, it was just like looking at myself.
Really?
And it's the weirdest thing to see your own eyes cry. Like, she was so happy to see me that she was crying, and it was so weird because it was my eyes. It's bizarre. So, yeah, so that's how she found me, how I ended up here. And when I say my grandmother, she was the one that orchestrated basically my adoption, yada, yada. You know, my mom was 15, 16 at the time. She didn't have a choice. It was 50 years ago. Things were very different. So, yeah. And when I came here, I met my grandma, and we just clicked, and she instantly became like my best friend. And yeah, I went to church with her for a very, very long time. There's a couple people that go to our church that went to Anchor Point for a short stay.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody stays very long. But yeah, so that's how my mom found me and how I ended up here. I was living in Ohio. I didn't have any friends or family or anything keeping me there. So my mom said, come up here and get to know us. And yeah.
So when you have this, you know, you clicked with your grandma, and she's the one that kind of orchestrated the whole adoption thing. Did you ever have that conversation of the why?
My mom was 15.
It was just that.
It
was just the times.
50 years ago, yeah. She was 16, I think, when she had me, and just didn't do that back then. It wasn't cute. It's not cute now. By any means, It's not cute. But it was a lot different back then. So yeah, but I don't hold a grudge. I don't. It's 49 years, 49 years ago. Yeah, I never held a grudge. I never was mad. And it was even weirder growing up because a lot of people say that they have this like question, this hole in their heart, but it was a private adoption. So I knew her name, I knew her phone number, I knew at the time we had our social security number. I never felt like anything was missing. I guess I felt like if I wanted, it was always there. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Where there wasn't questions for me. It was more, what does she look like? That kind of thing. But yeah, it was really weird when she walked in. Her and my brother came. It was strange.
So where in your journey of getting saved, as they said, you can find Jesus in this, in that journey, did you also then find your mom? Like, how soon was it, or how close was that together?
Well, so I was saved July 17th, 2010. I was saved. And going into that rehab, that was the first encounter with Christ. And they said, if you give it up, let him do his work. And I was like, okay, if you're real, take it away from me. Take the cravings, take the thoughts, take the that. And I never thought about it since. I've never had a craving, never had a thought, nothing. He just delivered me in an instant, and that was that. So that's where Christ came in all of this. And I really, everybody talks about Jeremiah 29:11. I know the plans I have for you. But if you follow that to the next couple scriptures, it'll say, and I'll bring you back from the land that I sent you. And I feel like that's what God did. He restored my land. He restored my family. He restored. So, yeah, I know that everybody gets stuck on that. I know the plans I have. But go further and see the full circle of how it's just about restoration. It's such a beautiful thing to me. The adoption, whatever that happened, but this bringing it back together is just amazing how God can do that.
That's amazing. Have you ever thought about, so you're talking about the plans God has, and then that he'll bring you back to your land. Have you ever wondered, thought about, asked him, but why did all that have to happen?
I don't say why me. I say why not me.
Yeah. Why
not me? If it's gonna happen, it has to happen to somebody, I guess. I don't really ask those kinds of questions. I'm on this side of it. Why doesn't matter. Where I go from here is what matters.
That's good.
I just feel like I know why I had to go. I had to go through things that I went through to understand addictions in people. I had to understand I've been wealthy, I've been poor or homeless, I understand all those people. I think it's an empathy kind of thing. I can empathize with a lot of different people in a lot of different situations. And plus, it helps. My heart is for evangelism and worship, and it helps to be able to talk to anybody in any situation. So I think a lot of that is just education. This is a positive. I try and spin it. It was just education.
Yeah, and so like when we talk about like rediscover, it's kind of like God had a plan from the foundations of the world, and then we were born for such a time as this, so that we could be a part of that plan, fulfill our part, right? So at what point did you feel like, oh, I've been going on down this other plan, and now this is the plan? Or did you feel like it was always the plan? Is there something where like, okay, well, now I know that I'm called to this, and it's.
Well, like there's somebody that I've talked to at church, and she said, the devil can't get to you, and I've already been to hell. Like I've already been there. I'm sorry. What was your What was the question?
Yeah, just how do you feel like it was always the plan to go
Yeah.
through that hell,
Yeah.
basically? Yeah.
Yeah. And I've got a boldness. We were in Goodwill the other day, and there was a lady that was talking about she had just lost her nephew, and I just walked right up to her, laid hands on her, and prayed. Like, I don't. And I think the situations I've been in, and you know, having my skull fractured and my jaw broken and my nose broken 11 times, and I have scar tissue from being backhanded so many times, and there was a point that I just started laughing. That I just
Yeah.
yeah. So when I look back on all of it, I can see where every bit of it has prepared me, maybe, for different situations in life, to be able to approach different situations, to be able to relate in different situations. And yeah, so I think it was all part of the plan, and he's going to turn it for his good.
Would you say that you're able to see kind of the despair in other people's eyes because you were there at one point in a lot of that despair?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think I have just this ability to relate. So I see homeless encampments all around Muskegon and Norton Shores, and I feel so bad. And I see them getting like roused by the police, and but where they're supposed to go, you know. I just have this heart for everybody's hurting. You can be a gazillionaire and be, you know, the loneliest person on the planet, or you could have nothing and have everything. You know, everybody's unique and every situation's unique. And I think being able to boldly approach anybody has kind of been what the preparation is.
What is, you know, there's a lot of people that maybe would listen to this, but even just a lot of people at all that don't know what it's like to be homeless. What does even a day look like? I had a friend of mine who sometimes by choice in his own doing, right, that he would just go out and he would just be homeless. And then he would come back with some crazy stories on like, oh, did you know that each homeless person has their territory because this is where they ask for money and this whole thing. And what was your experience like with that?
So, so my experience with homelessness is it's scary. It's scary, especially I was in Toledo, Ohio. I'm from San Diego, so I don't know anybody there. I literally had no one to say, "Hey, can I crash on your couch?" Like, I knew no one, knew nothing. The scariest part was being taken advantage of. But just a day, you just walk. I lived in this one place where I lived I didn't live anywhere, but that's another story. But there was a McDonald's, and I would go into their dumpster after breakfast, and I would steal whatever they had thrown away. And it got to be where they knew I was doing it, and they would just put everything in a bag and set it next to the dumpster for me. So that little amount of please, from going from in the dumpster to next to the dumpster, that was a huge kindness to me because they knew I was there. But you don't know where you're going to eat. You don't know your feet. Your feet. You're wearing the same shoes over and over and over. I can't even tell you. It hurt just as much to take them off sometimes as it did to put them back on. The same clothes. People, get a job. If you're dirty and you can't take a shower anywhere, where are you going to find a job?
Yeah.
You have one outfit. Where are you going to find a job? You know, and I heard that there's more people that are one paycheck away from homelessness than any time ever in the world right now. And that's horrible to me. But I do know there's some people that do it by choice. There was a San Diego professor that went nutso and lived in Balboa Park for I don't know how many years in San Diego, and
Really?
people do it. Yeah, they really do choose it. But yeah, it's getting worse and worse.
So how did you go from, I guess, help me with maybe a little bit of a timeline if you want.
Okay.
How do you go from, so you're with these rich parents that adopted you and you're going through all these, you're the typical kid that's going through recitals and doing all these things.
Yes.
At what point does that shift? What happens? What happened there?
So this is crazy, but I had a learning disability. I can't do math. My cousin Jessica knows, she's a teacher. There's an actual term for it where like your brain just like you don't, X and Y will never equal anything in my head. They are letters. They always will be.
Yeah.
But my parents, I was always so smart and so pretty and so this and so that. And they tried so hard. They hired professors to come teach me and tutors from San Diego State and blah, blah. And I just didn't get it. And I wasn't their smart, beautiful, talented, everything daughter anymore. Then I was lazy because I wasn't trying. So that opened the door. And where I lived, it was just a couple of older boys in my neighborhood. And so they had marijuana, and that's the first time I tried it. And from then it went to drinking my parents' whatever on hand. And from there, it was just a downward spiral. So in my, I don't know, junior high, I just turned to drugs, and that was it for me. So
was it a situation where they kicked you out or that you had to run away?
Oh, God, no.
Yeah.
No. In fact, I didn't leave my parents' house until I was 20.
Oh, okay.
Something. Yeah. It was. But so my parents retired and they moved to Tennessee, and that's how I ended up on this side of the planet, is because we moved to Tennessee, and then I worked at a strip club there. Got hooked on meth again, and took off to Ohio with the bouncer. And that's how I ended up in Ohio and all of the chaos that ensued. But yeah, so that's what happened. And then 15 years ago, I moved up here. 17 years ago. No, excuse me. I've been 15 years clean. So it was about 10 years ago, I moved to Michigan. So that's... Yeah. So I was 20 when I moved to, I was 20 when I moved to Tennessee with my parents. And then I moved up here. I was probably 30. I don't know, 30 something. Yeah. So if that's, does that help?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. The fact that you wound up with them, even moving into their retirement and stuff, and then you were doing your own thing. You mentioned that you hadn't talked to him in 20 some odd years or whatever. How did that break off happen?
So when I moved to Ohio with the bouncer was when the cutoff happened. I had a daughter and a son that my mom adopted my daughter. My parents adopted my daughter, and my son went to his paternal grandparents. But I don't know, I'm lost now. But as long as I was going to school or was working, I could stay in my parents' house. So it
even if it was a strip club.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. They didn't care as long as there was income coming in. Or I would go to school, and then I'd get sick of going to school, and then I'd get a job, and then I'd get sick of that, and I'd go to school, and I just played it back and forth for a long time. But then when I ran away to Ohio with the bouncer is when the cutoff happened. Yeah, that was it for me dealing with them, and it was it for them dealing with me. So
you bring up your kids, and the daughter was adopted by your adopted parents, right? So is she still part of that, or was she still part of that family before they?
I don't have any communication with her.
Okay.
My mom and her communicate. They have a great relationship. She actually came out here a couple years ago, and I had an opportunity to be face to face with her, and she's not really receptive, and that's okay. She doesn't get it, and I'm all right with that. I've given it to God a long time ago. I did have the opportunity to tell her that it wasn't her, that I didn't know her worth. And I didn't know her worth because I never knew my own.
Right. Yeah.
And that's all I can give her. That's the best I can give her, I think, is I just didn't know what you were worth. So,
Yeah.
There's that.
Yeah. And so from the Ohio part, that's where you went through lots more.
That's where, so the bouncer ended up kicking me out, and that's how I became homeless.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
How long were you in Ohio before your mom found you at the rehab place?
So 2002 to 2010, 2002 to 2010, I was in Ohio.
That's a long time.
Yeah. I sold drugs for guys a couple times, and then, I was really pretty, and I was young at the time. And so the guys would kind of have me take the girls out. I guess it's called running a stable, whatever. I've done that. And then it comes to a point where you're not so cute anymore, and and you need to go out there as well. And you know, it's your choice until it's not. So that became, and I wasn't good at it. I wasn't good. I spent 6 years of the 8 years in jail. Like, I couldn't have been very good at it. So, yeah, good times.
So you're here now.
I am.
And so this whole relationship with your mom and your grandma and all that kind of stuff, how has that been developing?
Grandma passed away a year ago, May.
Okay.
I was there alone with her when she took her last breath. It was beautiful. It was just me and my grandma, and
Wow.
yeah, she had heart failure, and so we knew she was going there. She stopped being able to speak, and then whatever. And then I spent the night with her because we were afraid that she was going to go in the night. And then I woke up, and we were just talking, and I went home, and I changed my clothes, and I came back, and 20 minutes just sitting there talking to her, and that was that. And it was probably the most incredible. It was a love moment. And I think in that moment really reaffirmed my faith. When you're talking about rediscovering your faith and reaffirming your faith in that moment, because I had to believe. Because it was either she's gone and that's that, or she really did go to be with Jesus in that second. And so, I'm sorry, I get all excited, but in that moment, like, I knew because she was, just like that. And it was beautiful to me to be able to sit there and just be with her. And
she was a believer?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. She came to our church a couple times.
Really?
For Christmas.
Okay.
She would come to the, Creaster, Christmas.
That's
and
when
Easter.
I'm never there.
Right.
I'm always down south during Christmas time.
That's right. You're in Mexico.
There. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing all that.
Yeah. So, yeah. And then Mom, I just saw her the other day. Yeah, she helped me pick up a couch. We just have normal mom-daughter relationship. She's my mom. It's hard to raise your mom. I'm trying.
So have you been thinking about, I think we've had a little bit of this conversation, but putting all this down for others to read, right? Maybe making a book or something.
Yeah.
So that your experiences either don't, like, so people will not do those things, first of all, but then also
Please don't do those
also
things.
the redemption and the forgiveness that comes with that.
Absolutely. And that's even the name forgiven, that's where it comes from. Those who are forgiven much loves much.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite scriptures. And I've been forgiven much, so how dare I not love much? But yeah, as far as a book, I've tried. And I can't write a book. I can tell stories all day long, but I can't. It's so tactile and so, I don't know.
Man, well, listen, there's AI now.
For sure. Hey,
Tell all your stories into the AI and be like, turn this into a book.
if that's possible, I'm on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really would like. I want people to know, first of all, that deliverance is possible. You can be delivered from things. It's not something that just happened past times. Deliverance happens. And I also want people to know, even though I have attended 12-step programs, and I'm not putting them down, whatever works for anybody, please, whatever works for anybody.
Yeah.
But I didn't do it with 12 steps. I did it through Christ.
Yeah.
And his word. And I want other people to know, if the 12 steps aren't working for you, it's okay. There's another way. Just keep trying. And even the 12 steps, they're, God grant me the serenity.
Right.
It's faith-based. They want to take God out of everything these days, but it is faith-based, and you can do it with Christ. You don't have to subject yourself to. I always felt so belittled, when I only had 30 days and this person had 16 years and, well, you don't know shit. No, come on now. That's not how you get someone sober. You're going to send them back out there with that. So I just want people to know that there's other ways.
What would you say to people that, because I've heard it both ways, right? There are people that have that miraculous, I gave it up to Christ and now I don't have any cravings anymore. And I literally did a turn, right? And through his help and through it's a miracle.
Sure.
There are people that are like, I give my life to Christ and I'm still struggling all the time with this. Every now and then I'm falling back into it. Every now and then, that kind of life. What would you say to people like that are struggling that way?
Well, I struggle all the time with other things. That's just, you're always going to struggle with something. There's always, that thorn in your side or whatever. This is just something I got over. I struggle with impure thoughts. I struggle with, I gossip sometimes. I don't know if you know that about me, but sometimes.
I notice sometimes. No, I'm just kidding.
But, and that's a sin, right? Yeah. It's all sin. No one sin is worse than another. And that's another thing. No, I went through some stuff, right? But just because this person didn't go through that doesn't mean I went through worse. That what you go through is the worst for you. Everybody's stuff is their stuff, and it's all as valuable as everybody else's.
Yeah, it's like the worst thing that's ever happened to me is literally the worst thing that's ever happened.
Right.
To me.
Legitimate.
Right. It doesn't matter if it's less than or more than.
No.
Someone else.
And I think people need to know that too. That you don't compare your trauma to anybody else's, because yours is just as important. And again, however you need to deal with, an addiction or whatever, but reach out, tell somebody. That's like a big one. Don't go through it by yourself. I struggled a lot. There's a lot of things I struggle with by myself, and secrets keep you sick.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing about me, is that I'll tell you my stuff, like in a heartbeat, because I don't want to hold on to it. And I know that if I hold it and I don't speak, if I speak something, it loses its power. It has no more, I've said it, it's out in the open. There's no more,
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I think makes it so easy for me, because I don't want to, I've been there. I've been to hell. I don't want to be sick. I'll tell you my stuff. He knows it anyways. But we all need to value ourselves, and we all need to know that whatever we're going through, whatever we struggle with, Christ is always there in it. He's there. He's there. And if you're struggling with it still, that's okay. I backslide on stuff all the time. You just don't see it.
Yeah, the idea is that Christ died for you, for your sins, really past, present, future. It's not like he didn't know what you were going to do, right? Either. So, and he still died on the cross for you.
Right.
Right. It's really what it is. I lost my train of thought because I was actually thinking about something you just said. Go ahead.
Well, and we got to be real. We got to get real with God. If I'm mad at him, if something's going not my way, and why in that, do I have to deal with this? Or if you're mad, yell at him. He already knows you're mad at him. Get it out. We just need to get real with ourselves and with our walks because it's not getting any better.
Yeah, no. And what you said about, this is what I was going to say, what you said about, you'll just say it. I mean, it's not like God didn't know what he was talking about when he said, confess to one another. There's a reason that we should be able to do that, and then help one another, and iron sharpens iron, and maybe not, you know what I mean? And just kind of go through it together because we're all fallen. We all need to look to him.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, we just need to get real. This is 2025.
Yeah.
It's not like anything's a secret anymore anyway. It's all out on the open in the airwaves. They talk about anything. You can see anything on the internet. Let's just get real.
Can you imagine AI knowing when you're about to backslide and suddenly all these things come out on your feed?
Right. Right. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So, we just got to get real. We just got to get real. And if one more person asks me if I think we're in the end times, I'm probably going to scream. I think ever since he left has been end times. So let's just say that.
We're just getting closer and closer anyway, no matter what.
But you got to watch what's happening. Oh my God, there's another earthquake. Oh, that's in Revelation. You know what I mean? Oh, there's another. It's in Revelation too. It's like, get real, people.
Yeah. So I know that when we were at church, you were going to start kind of what they're calling missional communities, right? These kind of small groups and things like that. And you wanted to start something at your house. Was this kind of the demographic you were going for, the people that have gone through the things you've gone through or similar?
Just hurt people.
Hurt people.
Hurt people. I want to love on hurt people. I want to love on stinky, haven't taken a shower, their feet smell from 3 blocks away, stuff jumping out of their hair. Hurt people. I want to love on people, like the people that nobody else wants. I just want to go and tell them all that Jesus loves them so much. And I can say it because I've been there. And how do you know? And, I'm on the street and God doesn't I've been there. Don't tell me God doesn't love you. I've been there. You can't. I have an 11-page rap sheet. Don't tell me God doesn't love you.
Well, and it is. I mean, and talking about getting real, I mean, I've been through things and done things, and then I come out the other side of it too. But there is a reality to the way but they're in it now and they don't feel it. They don't feel that love. And it's easier for us to talk coming out of the other side of it, right?
And exactly. It is easier being on the other side. But being on the other side, it's our responsibility to go back and give the hope to those that are, in the place where we once were. That's a responsibility, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's next for you?
So staying healthy, no more surgeries, I'm hoping. I'm just trying to enjoy this time that God's pulled me out of the world to kind of give me this little break that he's giving me. And I'm just trying to figure out my part in my place at church.
Well, can you imagine? I mean, because you're 49, right? You just said. You said it already a long time ago. I didn't out you.
I'm sorry, 27. Yes,
27. So you have lots of life still.
27. I'll be 28 next year.
Yeah, 28 next year. Because I'm 49, and I keep hearing from people that are in their 70s and 80s, oh, man, you're still young. You still got all this stuff. And I'm like, gosh, I'm already going to be 50. Paul makes fun of me. Dude, you're already going to be 50. But the older people are like, you're barely going to be 50. You got so much to do. So, yeah, staying healthy and trying to be healthy the rest of, what if you have 40 more years?
No.
Right?
No. Gosh.
The Dutch people around here certainly always get to 90s, into their 90s.
The Dutch people?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not Dutch.
Yeah, no, neither am I. But they certainly always make it to their 90s around here. Yeah,
lucky them.
It's called living. They call it living life in moderation. Everything in moderation. They never eat too much. They never drink too much. They never nothing.
That doesn't sound like much
they don't
fun.
even. Yeah, they don't even. I mean, if you go to some places around here, you notice they don't also salt their food as much as like a Hispanic would love it.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Hello.
But guess what? They're living longer, so I think they must know something.
Shoes, apparently, that helps.
Yeah, they're clogging around.
Right. You can always hear them coming.
Yeah. So if you had 30 more years, what are you doing?
Worshiping God. Worshiping God. That's what I'm going to do in thought and works and whatever I can do to worship God. Yeah. That's so my favorite thing to do before the hubs gets up is I put my music on, I turn YouTube on and my mixes, whatever, and I just sit in the quiet and just bawl my eyes out with my hands and just soak in his presence. And that's all I want to do. That's all I want to do. I've got an idea for something at church. I'm not going to say anything. Stay tuned.
Okay.
I've got an idea. I think I might have figured out what my piece and my part is at church.
Oh, okay.
So,
that's awesome.
That's a secret. I have to talk to the big man first.
Well, guess what? Guess what I just found out while I was down in El Paso for a whole month is that
you won another award.
No. Well, depending how you think about it.
Right?
Depending how you think about it, they had a meeting together and they called me like the okay, well, you're the senior elder now in the consistory.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, nobody told me that.
In El Paso?
No, here.
Oh, here.
Up here while I was down there.
Oh, we voted you in?
Yeah, I got
You're
voted
welcome.
somehow. I didn't even know I was
You're welcome.
for the thing.
Yeah, that wasn't my idea, but you're welcome.
Yeah.
Well,
so I want to hear your idea eventually too. So.
Well, sorry, I got a small head. Yeah, I can tell you after this shuts off.
Yeah. Cool. Well,
but yeah, no, I just want to worship God. That's all I want to do. I want to tell people about God. I want people to be excited. I want to get people excited about God. There we go. I want to get people excited about God. Yeah.
How would you do that?
Just
what does that look like?
I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you. You have to stay tuned.
Okay.
No, I want to help other people feel freed up to worship. Let go of the, let loose a little bit.
Yeah.
Let loose a little bit.
Yeah,
Shout Jesus. It feels great.
Yeah.
You do it once, you'll do it again. It's good times.
Yeah.
But, sorry.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh,
Now that you've done it, would you come on again?
yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's fun, right?
yeah. No, it was really fun.
Maybe that's how you get your story out. Maybe you start having your own podcast. Maybe you start talking to people. Think about that.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on.
No, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
It's been a blast.